Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fighters channel. As you can see today, I am finally, after after a long time of not me making any, I'm doing a video. And in this video I'm doing something, again, something that I've put off for a long time, which is finally making a tier list for all the killers since I've had a few people suggest that I should make one. I've always had it in the back of my head, and I've always wanted to make one, but I'm just lazy. I'm gonna try to keep this as unbiased as possible. I'm probably gonna put like each. I'm not sure if you can even see my mouse, but I'm probably gonna put each um, killer in and then shuffle them around. I'm not gonna put like Demogorgon in a tier and then like a killer right next to them that and then you know what I mean. I'm gonna put them in and then shuffle around in the tier that they're in. Maybe I'll change my mind about some killers, but again, I'll try not to be biased towards my favorite killers. But without further ado, I'll stop talking and get on with the tier list. So Demogorgon, in his current state, um, Demogorgon in his current state is uh, he's a he's loads of fun. Don't get me wrong, but either B or C tier, somewhere in there. So either high C tier or low B tier, but I might put low B tier because he has the map mobility. He has little potential. He has a bit of potential for anti-looping with his shred. The thing is, survivors can get rid of that map traversal by tearing down the portals. Hmm. So he has good loop. He has good anti-loop. He has some pretty good map control. And he has a real good presence. Um, but in the long run, he tends to get gen rushed, which is why I'm excited for him to get his add-on pass. Keep in mind this is before Coldwind gets remastered, so all this is prior to that. And I know demo is getting changed, and that this is kind of a bad time to be doing one of these, but demo is going to get changed in the next update. So, but in his current position right now, I would put him in B tier. Low B tier, but in B tier. He's really fun to play. Stranger Things is an awesome show, but I'm not basing it off of how cool they are. Um, I'm basing it. I should also say this that I'm basing this off of their kill potential. How good are they at getting kills, um, keeping gens, anti-loop potential, and just being a good killer. Um, but that's how I view demo at the moment. Ghostface, pretty underrated, I'd say. Um, Ghostface. I'm like thinking of like Myers and Ghostface right now, of like which one's better. Ghostface, hmm, he might go in B tier with demo. He has the stealth ability, which is always good for any killer. Plus, he is he's one of my favorite killers to play because of his unpredictability. You don't know when he has no heartbeat. You don't know when he's chasing someone unless you're in a survive with friends. But other than that, he is really unpredictable, and you don't know when he's coming at you unless you have Spine Chill, which is why I run it. um, but he has the great. He has nothing really to help him in loops when he's actually chasing someone. He's just an M1 killer, but his Night Shroud, his stealth ability, can be used in a loop to turn off your red stain, which is something I like to do a lot. Plus, his crouch is underrated in my opinion. I think the crouch is pretty helpful because you can crouch, so you're chasing someone at Auto Haven Wreckers, you can, like, crouch behind a truck or something, and they won't see it coming, and then turn off your red stain, and then they'll run into you. It's one of my favorite things to do as Ghostface. Stalking as him, Myers does it better. So Ghostface is better at keeping stealth, Um, Ghostface is better at keeping stealth. The stalking, however, is you either get it to work or you don't. You either use it in the game or you don't use it at all. Um, so I think he is in mid B tier. He's not at A because A has some pretty strong killers, but I think he's in B tier, probably above demo. He doesn't have map mobility, that's true, but that's where I view Ghostface as in his current state. So Trapper, uh, Trapper is not one of my favorite killers. Any like setup time killers like Trapper, Hag, I usually don't enjoy too much. I like getting quick to the point, like using my power immediately, like causing a lot of carnage immediately, which is why I usually don't play Trapper too often. But he has the potential to cut off like a lot of good areas on the map. He can put traps at really strong windows, which makes it really hard to go against him. Plus, always as Survivor, you have that paranoia factor. You don't know if he's going to have a trap there, which makes you paranoid. Other than that, he has no real stealth, no real map. Well, he doesn't have map mobility, but he has map control. But other than that, the only thing he has is his traps. So, C or D, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and put him in C. Cause like if a trapper knows what he's doing, he can be really devastating. Like if you go against a good trapper, they'll get you. Um, but I don't personally like this is also my own personal list, this is my opinion. I don't like playing as him and I feel like he could use a little bit of a buff. They haven't reworked him yet, which I'm hoping they will in the future and give him a little bit trapper back default, please. But the way I see it, Trapper is in C tier at the moment. I'm like still thinking like, no, I'll keep him in C. Okay, so Bubba's buff in like the past couple months where he gets multiple charges of his chainsaw and can rev for longer and stuff makes him a lot more threatening than he used to be. He breaks pallets really quick. He can get downs if you don't know what you're doing. But he has no map control, no real stealth, barely any stealth since you can hear the chainsaw from across the map. Um, Like, because if you're in an what would be in kind of okay loop, um, he can get around that. He can get around that pretty easily. Like, because he has the potential, because he can catch up to you quick. And another thing that he's also good at is being a pallet muncher, so he can get rid of pallets a lot, like really fast, which means he'll have less problems later in the game. But other than that, that's pretty much all he has. So I'm thinking of putting him in B tier. But like he has the insta down. He has real big snowballing potential. I'll give him that. But he doesn't really deserve to be at A, does he? No. I'm putting him in B tier. I think Bubba is in his before his buff. I easily would have put him in like D tier, but his buff made him a lot more powerful. Clown's buff didn't do too much. I kind of wish the afterpiece antidote did a bit more. I wish it sped you up more. Other than that, he's pretty much the same. People say he's bad, and in most cases he is, but the bottles sometimes do work. Like on loops without like any walls or anything. And hell, not even like even Killer Shack he works pretty well. He can get some pretty nasty hits. His add-on pass is also pretty good. Cigar box is also really good for him. That one where if you're in the antidote cloud, you see people within your like vicinity. It's pretty good. It's like light chassis for clown. Hmm. Even though like the buff I wish did more. Like his buff really seemed like they just add like a second little ability that barely does anything and just kept him the same. Um, he doesn't really have that much map control. They tried to do that with his bottles, with the antidote, the yellow bottles, but it barely does anything. The speed up is barely noticeable, but he barely has any map control. He can shut down an area pretty well. Plus, if you have Save the Best for last on him, he can get a lot of injuries very quickly. In my opinion, I would put him like somewhere in C tier, but above Trapper. He's better than Trapper, in my opinion. But is he though? Is he really better than Trapper? I don't know. Because like sometimes if a clown knows what he's doing, he can get some pretty. I don't know about this. Could be either way. It could be behind Trapper or in front of Trapper. I can't move. Okay, there we go. I don't know. I'll keep him there for now, but my mind will probably change later on. Um, Herman Carter, the doctor. Pretty underrated, I'd say. He's pretty threatening and has a real presence. Literally, he just eliminates stealth from the game. You don't know when he's coming after you. Well, of course you do. I don't know why I said that. You don't know when he's going to go after you after multiple people have been shocked in the environment. Hmm. He has definite anti-loop potential. He can shock to disable you from using any pallets or windows, which is very good. Um, Map mobility, not so much. He doesn't have that much mobility. But his his anti-loop is really good if you can time your shocks and predict where people are going. That's one thing I see a lot of doctors messing up on is shocking in the wrong areas because they think that they're going to go over there, but they don't know if they're actually there. That's something that you need to know as doctor is to actually know where they're going. Because if you hit a perfect shock, it can be devastating, not only for the survivor, but the whole team. Plus, Madness Tier 3 can disable you from doing actions like Deep Wound. Like going into Deep Wound with Tier 3 is pretty scary since you don't know if you're gonna snap out of it before you get down from Deep Wound. My opinion, Doctor has very good power, very good anti-loop. Can find survivors whenever. You can't hide from the doctor at all unless you're in a locker. He's eventually going to find you. So in my opinion, the anti-loop plus the ability to find you whenever, in my opinion, is in like high B tier. Like I think that's pretty good that he can cancel you from vaulting, throwing pallets, getting saves, that too. You can shock people when they're unhooking someone. Um, Plus, even distressing can make his heartbeat even bigger to make the shock bigger. But he is pretty underrated in my opinion. He's one of my favorite killers to play. Hag. So, not my favorite killer at all, but I do recognize her power. Her power is very lethal. Even though she's not my favorite, she is very, very, very lethal. The ability to not know if the same thing as Trapper basically, except it's more effective. You have the traps, but the survivors don't know where they are usually most of the time. So it's hard. It's hard to like. Plus, it makes the game go pretty slow because survivors might be crouching everywhere. But the ability to be constantly teleporting around the map with like, I think it's there's like one of her add-ons that makes her able to teleport like from wherever, and it's really good. But the ability to be anywhere on the map pretty much at any time if a survivor trips a trap is very good. Plus, putting a trap at a loop when you're chasing someone kind of has like the same effect as Spirit. You don't know if they're gonna, like, say you put a trap at one side of the pallet and you chase them the other way. You don't know if they're gonna teleport to that trap or they're gonna keep chasing you. So it's like a guessing game. Not really a guessing game. There's skill involved with it, and I think Hag is very good. She's a very good killer. It's just not my type of killer. Again, I'm trying not to be biased, but I would put her somewhere in A tier, like low A tier. But she's very good. Like her anti-loop, she also with Monitor, she has a big sneaking factor. She can be very sneaky and come up on you without you knowing. But very scary killer to go against, in my opinion. Very, very good lethal killer. Just not my style, though. But anyways, moving on. Hillbilly. Hillbilly, after his nerf, people complained, but I didn't see too much change in him. I think he's still very powerful. The cooldown and the overheating on the chainsaw didn't do too much to him, in my opinion. He has very good map mobility. Very, very good map mobility. He can be across the map in seconds, especially with add-ons. Like the Doom engravings. He has the insta-down potential. He can curve 90-degree corners if you're good with him. He can do that. But yeah, he has major map mobility. Has a pretty big presence when you can be all around the map at like just whenever. The insta-down combined with that map mobility can go for some pretty nasty shots. But Hillbilly is still Hillbilly, and he's still a very strong killer, so I'm putting him in A tier. He's very, very good. Huntress, though. I hate Huntress, but she has a lot of power in her current state. Her Eerie head hasn't been nerfed yet, but she's very, very good. If you are a good Huntress or you go against a good Huntress, she is very threatening. Because that's also true that they changed it so her humming, her lullaby, is not directional anymore, so you don't know which way she's coming from. That's also very good, so she can be pretty unpredictable. The speed up the longer the hold your hatchet is also very good. Makes it harder to dodge things. She can always get a hit if she gets blocked in animation when you're throwing a pallet. Also very good. Can hit you when you're on high ledges. Very, very good. Not too much map mobility, which is her downside. But other than that, she's very, very good. As I'm sure you all know. But of all those good sides, she deserves to be in high A tier, in my opinion. Like, the ability to injure someone at pretty much any range is very devastating. and I know a lot of people recognize that because a lot of people play her. She's not my style again, but still very, very good. Legion. Ooh, this is going to be a tricky one. Legion is... Legion, I'd say, is a smidge underrated. He/she, they, I should say. They are very, very good at getting a whole team injured in a matter of seconds. They can put a lot of pressure on people in a matter of seconds. He doesn't have that much anti-loop, but there's add-ons and perks for that, like Bamboozle and the Iridescent Button. Big time waster combined with like Thanatophobia and Sloppy, which gives you time even more to down someone. Map mobility, not too much. The sprint makes you go a bit faster, but not too much. But other than that, they're not too amazing. Because, like, a good survivor can loop a Legion for a really long time, while the others just do gens, because a lot of people don't even care about healing against the Legion, which is smart. Is he better than Clown? That's a good question. I might put him in between Trapper and Clown. Like right here, I don't know. I'll always, my mind could change. I don't know if this is gonna be the final, my final opinion on tiers. I'm probably gonna shift it around a bit. But that's, in my opinion, where I see Legion at the moment. He's very annoying to go against, and they can put a lot of pressure down on people with the deep wound. Freddy's getting nerfed. I don't know how effective the nerf was. I didn't actually see too many Freddys when I played on the PTB. But as always, this is just going to be in the game's current state. And in the game's current state, with the amount of... He has great map mobility, great anti-loop, pretty big unpredictability since, like, when you're asleep, you don't have heartbeat at all. You only have the lullaby. Hmm. Hmm. I'd say... Like, I feel like if a really good survivor knows what they're doing, they can loop a Freddy for a little bit and give time for other survivors to do gens. But again, that his snares are very good anti-loop. Or anti-loop, however you want to say it. Yeah, and he has pallets as well, so there's another that's another thing, is that he's pretty unpredictable with pallets. Because you don't know if they're fake or not. So my opinion, above Huntress or below Huntress? Above Huntress or below Huntress? I don't know. Again, he's not my playstyle, but I'm trying not to be biased. So 115% movement speed. Above Huntress or below Huntress? I don't know. Huntress has the ability to hit anyone anywhere. Plus, if they're really good, they're really good. Fuck. People might butcher me for this if I put Freddy above Huntress or... He has the map mobility. Plus, ooh, that's another thing. He can pretty much anti-loop pallets that have high walls, which Huntress can't do, obviously because of the hatchets not being able to go through walls. But, hmm. So, he has anti-loop, same as Huntress, plus the huge map mobility factor. I'll leave him above Huntress, but I'll just let you know that this is very, very close. I don't, very, very close. They're basically the same for me, but I think Freddy might be just a smidge better in the current state he is in now. This is a pre-patch Freddy, but I'll leave Freddy there for now. But moving on to Nurse. I'm not even gonna say anything, but I'll explain. Nurse, it's like, what is there to explain? She can go through walls. If you're great with her, then no survivor will compete against you. Nurse is by far the hardest killer to learn, but when you master them, you are very devastating, and survivors have a very tough time going against you. The ability to be anywhere as well. She's very slow. She's the slowest killer in the game at base, I think, but her power lets her traverse the map very fast, which is another thing. So she can traverse fast, go through walls, a very good anti-loop. I'm not very good with her, but I recognize her power. Everyone does. So in my opinion, I still think Nurse is the best killer, even after her nerf where she has to wait for a blink cooldown. Yeah, but okay, yeah, that's where I would put Nurse. I think she's the best killer in my opinion. Oni, again, not too much my playstyle, but very, very strong killer. He has, in my opinion, the biggest snowballing potential in the game. If he has Infectious Fright, he can down like 2 or 3 people in a matter of like seconds, and it's very scary. The thing is, when he has his power, he's very scary. The thing is can he get that power? Because he has to hit people to get that power. Very good map mobility. Very good pallet muncher. He can get rid of pallets very quickly. The fact that when he runs into a wall, his dash doesn't stop is also very good. He's going to be an A tier. Thing is he... this is tough. Is he better than Hillbilly or worse than Hillbilly? Because Billy can traverse the map the whole time, but Billy can get more control over his sprint because he can curve very easily and strafe. I'm thinking he might be a small bit better than Billy. Oni has, yes, Oni has the very, very good potential in snowballing. Plus, is a super long lunge, which is also very good for him. Also, that too, when you injure people, combined with Sloppy, he can waste a lot of time for survivors while leaving blood orbs behind, giving him even more power. But I think he's a bit better than Billy, just by a small bit, but not too much. But Oni is very good. Pig, oof. Pig. Where do I begin with Pig? I do usually not like playing Pig at all. I find her pretty boring. Her power is pretty boring in my opinion. Her power completely relies on RNG. The traps completely rely on RNG, which is very stupid. No killer should have to rely on RNG. Her her was it the ambush lunge can be used to trick people at pouts by faking one way and going another, but if you're a good survivor, most people will know that she can't see over the loop, so you can just run away from the loop and get enough distance so she can't hit you. It's what I do all the time, and it works almost every time. She has the stealth too. The stealth is good, but then she has to waste time getting up out of it and then swinging. The ambush also makes a loud noise before it starts, so survivors know when to run. Dead Hard, I think, would completely counter her ambush. I wouldn't know too much since I don't play her that much, but she's not that great. Her traps put like pressure on survivors and waste their time, but other than that, she's not too great. I'm sorry, Pig fans, but I'm gonna have to put her in D tier. High D tier, I'll give you that. High D tier. It's like it's just the fact that her power relies on RNG, which is very, very stupid to me. Plus, they can get it off before it's even active. Like you have to wait for a gen. You have to literally let the survivors do their objectives to get your power to work, which is very stupid. It's just Pig in her current state, I hope she gets a buff soon, is not that good. Like, yes, she has stealth, but then, like, can she commit to a chase without losing the progress after getting a single hit from that stealth? She just needs a buff soon. She's not that good. If her power wasn't RNG, I probably would have put her in like C tier, maybe even B tier, don't know. But it's just not that great. It's I keep saying it, but it's solely the fact that it's RNG based her traps that she's just not good in her current state. I wish she was better, because she seems like a fun killer to play if her power worked. Because do you know how rare it is for a trap to actually go off? Like, I played Pig once on stream, and I got a trap to go off, and I was honestly shocked that I actually managed to get a trap to go off. It's just... Plus, Spine Chill is there. Like, a lot of survivors run Spine Chill. I know I do. Completely counters her stealth. You know when she's coming. Like, a good group of survivors, held even like a okay group of survivors, can completely butcher her. Because she's a pig, get it? Huh. But she's just not that great. But moving on. Plague. Plague is an interesting killer, to say the least. I've tried her a bit. I don't really know how to feel with her. I don't know if I like her or dislike her. I'm kind of in between. But she has very good slowing down the game potential, because if she has Thanat or Thanatophobia, she can get a lot of injures pretty quickly and waste time. Plus her what was I gonna say? When they cleanse, you get a really strong power, like one of the strongest powers in the game, that her vomit can injure you, which is also very good. Plus, it can work on crowds. Like, vomiting all over like 2 or 3 people, a really good feeling and really devastating. She's also a very good snowballing killer. Not too much map presence though. No mobility really at all. Her mobility's not that great. You don't see too many plagues that often as well. You can, however, throw up on a gen and then see that someone randomly got infected and be like, huh, what did that person get infected from? And go back to gen and they'll be there. That's one thing that she's good at. But that's pretty much only in the mid game. Or that's pretty much only in the early game. Plus, even if they choose to touch the gen at all. She does get one fountain of the corrupt thing. The corrupt purge. Excuse me. She does get one fountain of the corrupt purge from the beginning of the game. On indoor map, it's very hard for her to go against people. In my opinion, I'll put her at bottom B tier. Because the ability to injure people very consistently, keep them injured as well, is very good. Plus, if they heal, she gets more power. But it's the fact that she gets the injures, but can she get the downs? Because if there's no fountains around, then what are you going to do? Because the survivors can just choose to not cleanse and then just loop you. In which case, you're pretty much can't do anything. But I think she's in B tier. She's a pretty in the middle killer for me. She's not too good, but she's not bad. She's not bad. But she has potential. She has potential in really good hands to be a really good killer. Ooh, this is gonna be a tough one, Michael. Michael is a pretty fun killer. He is kind of like Ghostface, but like the roles are reversed. He has very good stock, but he loses his stealth after like a mid into the game because he'll probably tear up by then. He starts off slow. Usually a gen or two might get done at the beginning, which kind of hurts. This is at rank 1, by the way. But once he's chasing someone, the survivor already knows you're there, and he's basically an M1 killer. But every time he tears up, he vaults faster, which is a very good plus. Combine that with Bamboozle, he goes even faster and blocks off the window. Very good combo on Myers. Is he better than Ghostface, though? Myers has a very good snowballing potential. Because the instant down tier 3 is very good, plus he has a small bit more lunge. I need a drink. My throat is dry, sorry. Okay, much better. So, yeah. Very, very good killer with a lot of presence. Map control, not too much, but indoor maps, he also has Scratch Mirror, completely changes the way that he plays. But if we're talking about regular Myers here, he starts off slow, really powerful in the mid to late game. So in my opinion, I would put Myers right above Ghostface. In my opinion. Because even that as well, if he has Infectious Fright, he can completely wipe a team in a matter of like seconds. Or is he better than Doctor though? Doctor has a lot of good. It's the fact that if you get the tier 3 though, can you catch up? A good Myers will catch up eventually. Plus, again, the vault speed is very helpful. I'll leave him there. Oof, Spirit. Fuck. Okay, I'm just gonna put her here, but you already know what I think of Spirit. I hate going against Spirit, but I recognize that she's very, very powerful like easily top 3 killers in the game when it comes to power and kill potential. She's has good map mobility. She's very, very unpredictable. Um, when you're injured, it's basically a down for her since she can just hear you and see your scratch marks. And plus, with I think it's the father's glasses, she can see blood pools as well, which makes it even harder. Um, Iron Will does counter her, but then again, excuse me, if the spirit is using Strider, that completely negates Iron Will and makes it so you still have Grunts of Pain. Very, very good killer. I've like played her before and she's pretty fun to play as. Not playing against is pretty aggravating. At loops as well, she literally can stay still and a survivor won't know what to do. But there is counterplay to her. I'm just not too good at it. But yeah, as survivor, you have to be like as survivor, you have to be very unpredictable to counter unpredictable killers with an unpredictable survivor. That's pretty much the way it is as a spirit. But other than that, she's very, very good. Good map pressure, very high kill rate, can, as I said, get around the map in seconds. Can get downs pretty quickly. But I'll leave her in right below Huntress, or no, not Huntress, right below Nurse. Um, Even though I think her heartbeat is smaller than the other killers. I think she has a 24-meter heartbeat, which gives her a little bit more sneaking potential. She could also get grabs off of gens. If you hide right outside the heartbeat radius with the spirit and you go in, they won't hear the phasing sound and you can get a grab, which is also very good. So I'll leave her there. Wraith. Ooh, this is gonna be an interesting one. Wraith in his recent buff. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, it went away. Good. Wraith in his recent buff made him so much more fun to play. He is a lot more fun to play. He has basically Windstorm default now, so he's a lot faster in Cloak. Plus, the feeling of whipping around a corner or something with the boost after an uncloak feels very satisfying, and he's pretty unpredictable with his cloak. It's very easy to lose track of him and where he is. He can body block as well with his newfound speed. He can come up on people very quickly if they don't know what they're doing, if they have sloppy and nurses. His new buff gave him map pressure, which is very good. Anti-loop is a bit better. He can body block now and fake one way and then go another way with his speed boost. And that's not even mentioning add-ons. You have even more stealth potential with the Bone Clapper. I think that's what it's called, and the Coxcomb. I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure. The bell that that is completely silent when you ring it, which is really good on Larry's. Plus, he has all-seeing. You see auras around you, so if someone's hiding in a corner, you can immediately block. I can't speak. Sorry. Immediately body block them for a free hit. But his buff made him very, very more enjoyable to play as. In his recent buff, I find playing Wraith a lot more enjoyable. If it was before his buff, I would have put him in low C, maybe even D. But his buff made it so like he's in like around here. Like his buff made him a lot more fun and unpredictable. He can catch up pretty well as well. I might have to change that. I'm like not sure about Plague being there now. I'm not sure. I think Wraith is pretty good where he is though. Deathslinger. Deathslinger probably one of the most fun killers in the game to play as. Now, a lot of people seem to hate going against Deathslinger, and I get that. I get why they think that, but I find him a lot of fun to go against. Because the people who don't know what to do against him won't know how to, will die, will definitely die. But people don't realize that he usually shoots when you're about to round a corner, so just dodge out of the way and go back in the corner. It's that easy. Well, not that easy, but it makes it easier to dodge him. But I used to main Deathslinger before a certain killer came out, and we'll get to him soon. But he has not too. That's his one big downfall, is that he has very, very good anti-loop potential. In my opinion, Deathslinger is Deep Wound done right. His ability to inflict Deep Wound is like the perfect tweak of balance when it comes to that. His big downside is map pressure, though. He doesn't have a lot of it. He is 110% movement speed. He's pretty slow, which makes sense for a range killer. Excuse me. But he's very good as a range killer. So much so that I think he is just above Doctor. I might have to switch that around. I don't know. Maybe he's below Doctor. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. But Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head is very, very, very good. He has the cages and the trails. He's very good at manipulating the map. The cages can completely deny borrowed or any decisive strike or anything like that. One downside to the cages, though, is that it doesn't give you barbecue or pop. But it saves time. The cages save. That's the one thing that people forget, is that the cages save a lot of time by you not having to carry to the hook. And that's only half of his power as well. He also has I think it's like the rites of punishment or something. But the ranged attack, the one that goes through walls. And that is also very good. If a good Pyramid Head knows what they're doing, they don't even need I'm all ears. They can predict where survivors are going very well and can really like decimate a team pretty quickly. The one thing that he doesn't have too much of is map control. He doesn't have that much map mobility, and people will tend to I've noticed that for some reason the most common killer to get gen rushed on, in my opinion, is Pyramid Head. That's like one of his big counters is just gen rushing. But his just the ranged attack, the ability to go through walls, it's like a little, it's kind of like a mini blank for Pyramid Head. It's like having a small bit of Nurse's power as Pyramid Head. And he's very good and very, in my opinion, very fun to go against. If Pyramid Head doesn't know what he's doing, he'll get his ass kicked. He'll get his ass kicked for sure. But a good Pyramid Head is a very, very fearing killer. He's very good. So in my opinion, my opinion, he's there. Because the ranged attack, the ability to hit through walls as him is very good. If you know the speed of survivors, if you know where they're going to go, he is very, very deadly and very lethal. But I think that's a good spot for him. And he's one of the most balanced killers in my opinion. If you're very skillful with him, you are a very good killer, and I have major respect for you. If I get my ass kicked against a Pyramid Head, I don't get mad. I know they're good. They put the time and effort into playing him and knowing how to play him. But he is one of the most fair killers in my opinion. Oh, here we go. Blight. Okay, so as many of you know who watch my videos and live streams, Blight is my favorite killer in the game. He is the most fun killer in the game for me. He has map mobility, loot potential, and I'll say it again, map mobility, map mobility, map mobility. He has probably, in my opinion, the best map mobility in the game. And it's like if you played Billy and you ever play ability. Do you ever play Billy and you go against like one survivor at a loop and you're like, "Ooh, I was so close to turning that corner to hitting that survivor." Blight can just say fuck that and just get you down. If it like the thing is Blight is very very underrated. A lot of people don't know how to play him at all, which is kind of sad. I would like to go against a lot more skillful Blights. That's another factor too. He's, in my opinion, very fun to go against as well. If I get my ass kicked by a Blight, I have major respect for them since they, again, same thing with Pyramid Head, put the time and effort. That's the one thing that a lot of people who say Blight is bad forget to do. They put the time and effort to get good at him. And he is very unpredictable. You don't know if he's gonna rush to the left of that loop or the right of that loop. You don't know. And I play him a lot without add-ons, and he is still very, very good. And this is coming from a rank 1 killer. He also has Undying, which came out with him, which pairs very well with Ruin and Tinkerer. Very, very good combo for him. He has the map mobility. He has so much. He can turn corners on a dime. If you're quick enough, you can like really if you're quick enough with the corners and bounces, you can counter a TL loop pretty well. And even Shaq. But they even buffed him after release where he can break pallets with his lethal rush for a bit faster chase. Very good. He can rush back to a hook in a matter of seconds. And it's just very, very good kill potential. It's the fact that no one knows how to play him, which kind of aggravates me. But if you're a good Blight player, major respect for you. And I think he deserves to be here. Because he's kind of like Oni a bit, where he has very, very good map patrolling and control. But he gets his power over and over and over and over again, and it's very, very good. His charges, his rush tokens recharge very fast, making him able to run around the map very constantly. He can find survivors. That's one big thing as well. He can find survivors at the beginning of the game very, very quickly. But I think, and I'm not trying to be biased here, I think he is very good. At PTB, he was not good at all. I was very disappointed with him. Then in live release, he was amazing. I loved him, and that's not even including add-ons. His Alchemist Ring gets all of your rush tokens after you lethal rush hit someone. And then he has Compound 33. You rush once into a pallet and it just explodes. Awesome add-on. You have a little mini Spirit Fury in a bottle. It's great. But his add-on, he has, in my opinion, the best add-on diversity. He has so many different and fair add-ons. And that's why I love to play Blight so much. But that was my Blight talk. That was like my little Blight fan talk. But anyways, moving on to the twins. Excuse me. Twins, pretty underrated. They're pretty good. They're not exactly my playstyle. Um, they have the same thing, kind of like Oni, where they have big snowballing potential. Um, if a lot of people are injured and you have Victor out, he can down people very quickly. Uh, One bad thing is that Charlotte doesn't really have a secondary power of her own, so she's just an M1 killer. But other than that, it's good to like chase someone. Like say you're chasing someone at the top of the chapel, and you leave Victor down at the bottom, and they drop down. You can get them with Victor. And it's very the ability to control two killers at once. You literally are in two places at once, and it's pretty good. And you can hide Charlotte around walls to get little cheesy hits when you get back into playing her. One thing that she doesn't have that well is map control on herself. By herself, Charlotte does not have map control. She can get downs with Victor pretty easily. Plus, Victor makes the survivor oblivious to whoever he pounced on. Plus, you can find out if other survivors are there since Killer Instinct pops off. Um, the one big negative of her is that you can get the downs, but then you have to waste even more time by not just picking them up and hooking them, but you have to, like, say you're using Victor and you down someone, and then you have to go back to Charlotte and then walk across the map to get to that person and then hook them. And that's their one huge downside. But, hmm. But they have potential. A good twins is a good twins. Like they are pretty good on Haddonfield. I'm surprised to say this. They're both a pretty good killer on Haddonfield. You can put Victor, um, or Charlotte. Charlotte works too at the bottom of a house and get on the roof to chase someone, and then they jump down into the killer. It's great. Um, but in my opinion, I think twins. Ooh, above or below Wraith? This is a tough one. Oh, I accidentally did that. Shit. Please be fine. No. Oh fuck. I think I just. Okay. Well, I'll just put them. Oh wait, no, it's fine. Okay, good. I accidentally clicked save download. Um, but twins above or below Wraith? Hmm. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put them above Wraith. Cause they, if again, I keep saying this with a lot of killers. If a twins knows what they're doing, they can be very devastating and have a lot of snowballing potential. But that's my opinion on the twins. They're pretty in the middle. They're not my favorite playstyle, but I recognize their power. Mm. And now, oof, Trickster. Fuck man. What do I say about Trickster? Except that he's just not good. His buff barely did that much. I found his buff enjoyable at first, but after playing him enough, the buff barely did anything. Like, yeah, he can throw knives faster. He's literally Huntress with extra steps. Like, I don't know why they thought they made him, or I don't know why they thought making him 110% the same speed as Huntress a thing when he literally has to throw that's right, 8 knives just to get an injure, and then another 8 to get it down. And in those times, probably like 1 or 2 gens popped. Like, in his current state, and they need to change Trickster, in my opinion, Trickster is the worst killer in the game. Like, he has no stealth at all. Like, you have Modder to put on him, but that barely does anything since he can barely get a hit on you to begin with. Like he's fun, and I see the potential with him, but the potential only goes so high, and that potential is not very good. But I think that's where I'm gonna put Trickster. So now I'm just gonna go through. I might change Deathslinger a bit. Uh, the 110% movement speed really hurts him. I might knock him back down to here actually. Yeah, I like that spot actually a lot. But in my opinion, this is my killer tier list. If you don't, if you disagree with something and you want to tell me, just put it in the comments and I'll read it. I'll probably respond to you. But this is, in my opinion, how I view the killers and how powerful they are. But I think I did a pretty good job. I didn't mean to reference that meme. um, but I'm pretty happy with this. I think that this is a pretty okay tier list, in my opinion. But I hope to the people who enjoyed, give it a like, give my video a like if you want to. It helps a lot. And if you disagree, as I said, put it in the comments. I'll read it. I'll probably respond. But I think I'm done with this tier list, and I hope you guys enjoyed who did watch. But I hope to see you all later, and see you at another stream. Bye!